And we're back to try out this portable air conditioner to see how cold it actually gets, to see if it could actually cool off a room pretty good, a good size room. Let me give you a little pan around on the room. In the previous video, if you guys remember, the square footage, I think it was 54 square feet, something like that. 1,500 BTUs. I'm going to put it in this window right here. It's got a screen. And I've got some packing material that I found. Some thick packing material. And I'm making a pattern here to cut out for the hoses. I'll put one on both of these. And I cut this to fit the window. And I've got some extra right here to kind of fill in some of these holes from this packing, just to insulate a little bit, because I'm going to run this for a few hours to see. And as soon as you open that window, you can really feel that hot, humid air coming right on through. But let's get this cut out here, get it into the window, and get everything set up. And we'll show you that and get it going. See how cold this thing really is. The Denbig portable air conditioner. All right, one hole down, one to go. Fits pretty good in there. I'll fill up these little spaces with some of this extra that I have. Cut out some little spots just to keep out a little heat, because I am going to run this for a few hours. Let's go get the last one cut. All right, got my little thing made here. Got got the holes made. See the screen there? And it actually is blocking out a pretty good amount of sound. But you can feel a lot of heat coming in. What I'm going to do is go around the whole room and close all the curtains. Set up the air conditioner here. Get some temperatures and cut it on, and we'll see what happens. All right, we got it hooked up in here, and it's showing at 75 right now. Got the window kind of closed. Got that one open just for a little bit of natural light, but I closed all the rest. This is the west side of the house, so the sun will be setting on this side. And it's about almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon now, about 2:30, 3 o'clock. And the hottest part of the day is around between 4 and 5. So I'm gonna get some room temp checks real quick before I even turn that on to show you guys what we got. Right here on the floor, on the west side, we've got 73 over there, 71. That's over there where the air vent is. Probably close those off to do this experiment. 72, 74, the further we get away. Let's go on the ceiling here. 77 on the ceiling. Let me go right here, close to the window. 75, 73, 75. Right here at the front door, 73, 75. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shut these vents off. I got two in this room. I've got one right there on that end, and I've got one right over there on that end. I'm going to close those off, give it a few minutes, maybe about 15, 20 minutes, and I'm going to come back and turn this bad boy on to see how cold or uncold this thing really is, and if it's worth the money. We'll find out. Looks like it's about 3:15. Got the vent cut off, or the airflow to the vent. Probably hear how loud it is. I've got a jug hooked to the condensation tube there, running out the back. I'm gonna make sure I check, make sure it ain't leaking right there. I got it on there pretty tight, I do believe. So it says it's 75 in here. Let's get the remote, cut this thing on and see what it does. But here we go, I got the remote. Let's cut the power on. Just heard it kick in there. Let's turn it to, let's do 70. Let's see what the fan speed's on. Got fan 1. Let's see how loud that is. Might take a second for it to kick. Fan 2. Fan 3. Wow, this thing is really putting out some air. I mean, I can feel it all the way back. I'm a good 5-6 feet back right now, and I can feel it. That's colder than I thought. I've got it on that wooden chest, so it's making a little bit more sound than it would be if it was on the floor, or laying on the carpet over here or something like that. I just set it up there just to have it propped up a bit. Actually, let's set it to 69. Well, the controls on the panel are kind of weird. There it goes. And I can hear a little bit more humming on fan 3. We'll point that all the way down there. And I'm standing back a good 6 foot, 7 foot right now. And I can really feel the air blowing on that fan speed 3. Even on 1, it seems like it was. Let me see if I can get back down to 1 there. See if I can feel any difference. You can kind of hear it kind of ramp down just a little bit, but it still feels like it's blowing the same. Down to 68. I'm gonna leave it at 68 for a while. See what it does. It's saying it's 70, but that's probably around that. Let's get the thermometer here and let's see what we got going on. Oh, maybe the compressor just cut off or something. It got a whole lot quieter. Now we can hear what the fan speed actually sounds like. Yep, you can hear the fan speed on 2, ramp up, 3. Let's take some temperatures right here at the ground. 72 at the window, 78 at the window, right where the foam is. Ceiling right above the window, 77. Air coming out of that right at the moment, 68. So we might have to turn that down to cool it off a whole lot more in here, I guess. Let's do 65. I bet we'll hear that compressor kick back in. Show is blowing out 68 right now. The fan's on low. Pointing back here at the west side of the house. Over here at this window. You guys can see that or not. 70, still saying 73 over there. 74, At the window, 79 at the window. Right above the window, 77, 79. There you go. So we're gonna average about 75 in here, give or take. Doing a temp read of the air coming out. Let's get right here in front of it. We're getting 66. 63 coming out of there. Let's push that fan up a little bit to max. See if y'all can hear the air on the microphone on this thing. It's blowing actually really hard. I didn't expect it to be blowing that hard. With that fan on high, you can really feel it all the way back here. Let's see if it'll bring that temp down. Any at all. Yeah, you probably wouldn't hear that vibration if it wasn't on that wooden chest there, so. Turn it back down to low. And I want to walk outside too and also see how much air is being pushed out of that hot air vent there. And how much is being sucked in from that fresh air. Just putting my hands here on the hoses, I can tell the one here on the back right is the hot air outtake for sure. If you don't have that exhausted, there's no even sense in having this on because it'll just be blowing hot air back into the room. It's kind of weird with that compressor. Let's walk outside and see about this air flowage here. I've got my thermometer here. Let's go check and see how hot that hot air is coming out. You can definitely feel the hot air coming out right there. You can see something on the screen right there where that's sucking in fresh air. So you definitely want to put some kind of screen or netting around that hose if you're using that in a tent. Maybe some kind of cloth or something you can rubber band around it, or screen you can rubber band around that. Both of them so nothing can get in there. Let's check the heat coming out of this thing. We're getting some heat of 104 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's sucking in some 90-degree air there. Let's see what the thermometer says out here on the porch. Right at 90 degrees today. Yeah, so that puts out some heat right there. Just out of curiosity, I want to see how low the temperature will go on this thing. $61. Let's see how high it'll go. Will it really go that high? Can you use this as a heater? And don't say anything about it. I've got it on 88. Let's put it on fan 2 there. I'll read what it says just out of experiment. $72. I'm going to turn it down to 63. I'm just going to leave it at 63 and let it do its thing and cool in here. I'm going to let it go for about 2 hours. That's when it'll be at its hottest at around 5 o'clock. And we'll see how cool it is in here. This thing's been going for about close to 45 minutes, I guess. I've turned it on max fan, and the lowest it'll go, which is 61 degrees Fahrenheit. Saying 73 on the little display, digital display right there. Let's do some temp checks real quick. On the floor right here in front of me, we've got, oh, that's not right, 73. Over here by the window, 76. The unit itself kicking out, 67, 68 degrees right at the moment. The window, 79. Above the window, 79. 77. Let's go over here to the other side of the room. Floor is 73, 73, 72. By the windows, 78, 79, 76 on the ceiling back there, 77 right here, 79 right in the middle. Of course, I've got these lights on too. If I cut those lights off, it'll be a little bit cooler. Because those lights, 98 degrees each one, so that's going to put out some heat right there. Let's cut that off. But right there at the ceiling, we got 74, 76, and I've got that one window open, which is around 76. Front door, we got 74. $66 coming out of there. 67, 66, yeah. Cooling off a little bit more. Just a quick note too, if you're using this, if you were to use this like in an RV or a tent situation or a van or whatever, if you put a rotating fan in front of that to rotate that air around, I think that'll work a whole lot better as well. Alright, I'm doing a little bit of experiment. I took the air intake out from the window, and when I was doing some temp readings of the air going inside, it was like 90 degrees. Now we've got 76 going in there instead of that 90 degree. I'm just going to see how, if it gets cooler. Showing 65 degree air coming out of there right now. 65, 66. I'm going to run that experiment for a few minutes, maybe 15, 20 minutes, just to see if that number there is still saying 70. It's going back between 72 and 73 when the fresh air intake was in the window. So I've taken it out, so it's sucking in cooler air. I'm going to see if that number goes down any more than 73, which is 73 on a 90 degree Fahrenheit day. It's not bad at all. That will feel really good blowing on you, for sure. All right, update. It's been going for about probably just 5 minutes, and I've done a little quick temp check of the air, and we're getting between 59 and 60 coming out of there. If I can get it in there for you. See, it seems like the air coming out is even colder than it was. It was between 67, 68 before when the fresh air intake was running out the window. Now that I've got it running inside, it seems to be a little bit cooler. So maybe my theory of that might be a little, maybe, might be right. We will see. Let that run a few more minutes. This thing has been running for at least a couple hours. It's a little after 5 right now, and it's been keeping up pretty good in this big room as far as like keeping it around 72. It's been going back and forth between 73 and 71, and I've got it set on its lowest cooling, which is 61 degrees Fahrenheit, and it blows really, really good. It will cool a small area really, really good. It's not meant to cool your house. It's not meant to cool a big area. It's meant to blow cold air on you in a small area, like a tent. It'll work perfect in a van, I do believe, and a very small RV, 16, 18 foot, even maybe a 20 foot motorhome. Blow some cold air in there if you're looking for something that uses a whole lot less power, especially if you're using solar or something like that. But speaking of power, I'm going to power this thing off, and I'm going to hook it up to one of my solar power stations, see how much power it uses on low and high, at its highest settings, lowest settings, and see if we can get it. It blows really, really cold air. That's pretty good. I was doing some temp checks right before I cut the camera on, and it was, the air coming out was around 60 degrees, so that's pretty good, 60, 61. And the thermostat on the unit itself has been going back and forth between 73 and 71. And the further side of the room, it's been about 74, 73, 72 on the ground, 75-ish on the ceiling. So not bad. Complaints, only complaints is running all the hoses. You do have to vent the hot air, I do know that. So having to run that hot air out, in essence, you have to have somewhere to run it out a window or something like that. By opening a window, you're probably creating a little bit more hot air coming in than you normally would if that window was closed. But you got to have that hot air going out for sure. Last time I checked, that temperature was around 110 degrees coming out, and I've got it sucking in the room air for the fresh air. The thing I don't like about it the most is the buttons on the unit itself. They're very clunky. And you have to really push on them to make them work. That's the only downside I really hate about this thing. The unit is very small itself, but with all the hoses and the drain and all that stuff, you've got a lot of space that's taken up. And I'm sure this video is getting long enough, so we're going to go ahead and power this down. So stay tuned for the next video where I connect this to a power station to see how much power it draws for a camping or off-grid situation or power outage. So thanks for coming over, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. And as always, plan, prepare, and practice. Handy out.